We have all done it. Scrolling through social media, aimlessly pressing different links and sites, not really paying attention to where all of our information is going. Well, what if I told you that all of our information was being stored, saved, and sold? Now, you've probably already heard about this, but maybe you didn't think much about it. Well, what if I told you that with all the information they have on you, they could track you down to your house? Now, we oftentimes think of agreeing to the terms as harmless, but it can really make a difference. Now, I'm going for a computer science major, and I've already learned quite a bit. It is quite easy to collect information about someone. Just from one look at their IP address, which is like the internet they're using, we can pinpoint exactly what city or neighborhood you're in. I think before we agree to anything, we should read the terms, and this doesn't just go for online stuff, this goes for the real world, even if it is just a dry read. That being said, I would like to talk about these three things: why your privacy is important, what happens to your information, and how to prevent it. Okay, first, let's talk about your privacy and why it is important. Now, you might already think this, but let me give you some more reasons. If you give out your information, you're automatically agreeing for other people to track you and to get into your personal life. On top of that, it could affect the people around you. In this age, your information is pretty much your whole life, depending on how much you use social media. The second thing that makes your information important is that people who are in possession of your information can sell it and make money. And I think I speak for all of us when I say that we don't want to encourage that behavior. The third and final thing I want to say about this is that as the world advances, whether we like it or not, we will continue to use the internet more and more. And as this happens, your privacy will become more and more of a target. Now that you know how and why your privacy in information is important, let's talk about what happens to your information. Let me first start by giving you a statistic. Medium.com says every minute people upload 500 hours of video onto YouTube, post 3.3 million Facebook posts, and perform 3.8 million Google searches. That's a lot of important information being thrown around in such a little amount of time. Now that you know how much information is being thrown out there, what happens to it? Well, it is first stored in huge facilities that the company owns, and after it is stored and based on what you agree to, that information is sold to third-party companies who then take it and base their ads off of it. After it is stored, what happens? Well, whoever has all of your information can start to build a whole identity off of you. Experian says this: identity theft affects about 1 in 20 Americans each year. According to Javelin's 2020 Identity Fraud Survey, 13 million consumers in the US were affected by identity fraud in 2019, with a total fraud loss of nearly $17 billion. Now that you know your information is important and what happens to it, we can talk about how we can prevent it from being collected. The first thing that we can do is read the terms we are agreeing to, and I know that they are long and dry, but oftentimes you can catch some interesting things. 9to5Mac says that 80% of apps use your data to market their own products in the app and beyond. With that many apps taking your information, you might be thinking, that's too hard. I'd rather just be tracked. But wait, not all hope is lost. You usually can customize these privacy settings. You just have to make sure that you can before you agree to them. Another thing you can do is get a different search engine, such as DuckDuckGo, that doesn't take your information. By doing this, you won't be tracked and those bad guys won't make their money. Another up to using non-tracked search engines is that there will be no ads based off of your searches. So what? Now I have a search engine that doesn't track my information. Could the site still get my IP address? Well, yes. That is why I would suggest getting a free VPN, though the ones that you pay for work better. Well, what is a VPN? Avast says a VPN stands for Virtual Private Network, a service that helps you stay private online. Basically, a VPN establishes a secure encrypted connection between your PC and the internet. Okay, in conclusion, we have talked about why your privacy is important, what happens to your information, and how to prevent it. Even though 31% of people use VPNs, identity theft has gone up 72% from 2019 to 2020. That's a huge problem, but not many people have done anything to take action on it. That is why you, the listener, can. Think of all the people around you in your life. Would you want them to get scammed or their identity stolen? I don't think so. Thank you for listening. And just know that you can be the one person who changes the world.